The twin suns of Tython burn low as Luke Skywalker meditates atop the ancient Prime Temple. Wind coils around the broken stone, carrying whispers of the Force like distant thunder. Grogu sits beside him, eyes closed, tiny fingers trembling. Something is coming. A blur of red and blue streaking skyward. He reaches the nearest gunship in less than a heartbeat, grabs its undercarriage, and gently but decisively forces it down before it spirals into the temple. The landing gear buckles, the pilots scream. Superman stabilizes the craft and lowers it safely to the ground, but the other two gunships misinterpret the maneuver. Hostile, hostile, engage! A volley of missiles arcs toward him. Superman exhales, heat vision lancing outward in twin beams of molten red. The air vibrates. The missiles erupt mid-flight, fire splashing harmlessly across his suit. Luke watches, stunned, not by the raw power, but by the control. Grogu coos, ears perked, reaching out with the Force. Superman feels it, like a warm hand on his mind, soothing the disorientation. Luke deactivates his blade. "Who are you?" The man lands, boots cracking stone. He looks around at the ruined courtyard, the frightened soldiers, the Jedi Master whose calm radiates like a beacon. "My name is Clark," he says at last. "Kal-El, Superman." Luke's eyes narrow, not in suspicion, but recognition. He has seen the prophecy in the sacred texts. An off-world champion, a light-bringer, marked by the crest of a fallen house, guided by the power of a living star, arriving in fire. Luke speaks quietly. "You were foretold." Before Superman can respond, a cold, mechanical shriek echoes across the valley. Dozens of dark figures descend from the clouds, jump troopers in black and crimson armor, emblazoned with the symbol of the Imperial Remnant. Blasters ignite in midair. Their commander shouts, "Secure the anomaly! Lethal force authorized!" Luke's stance shifts instantly. "We'll talk later." Superman's expression hardens. "You go low. I'll take the air." They launch simultaneously, Luke flipping through a hail of blaster fire, deflecting bolts with precise economical sweeps, while Superman streaks upward through the formation, scattering jump troopers like sparks off an anvil. The alliance is formed in the heat of combat, seamless and unspoken. A blaster bolt ricochets toward Grogu. Superman intercepts it with his palm. Luke sees it. How fast he moved. Faster than any Force user he has ever witnessed. His breath catches. This is no mere prophecy. This is a paradigm shift. And above them, the Imperial dropship opens its hangar doors, revealing a dark, humming experimental weapon aimed directly at the planet. Luke shouts, "Superman, whatever you are capable of, now would be a good time." Superman looks skyward, eyes blazing. Then he rockets into the clouds. Superman punches through the cloud layer at near-sonic speed, vapor trailing behind him like a comet tail. The Imperial dropship looms above, a blocky, angular monster bristling with experimental tech. Its weapon core grows brighter, pulsing with unstable green energy. Superman narrows his eyes. He has seen weapons like this before, world enders, built by people who thought fear could maintain order. Not again. He rockets straight at the underside of the ship. Inside the cockpit, alarms shriek. Impact approaching! It's not a fighter, he's a person! Fire the graviton lenses! Crush him! Panels on the ship's belly snap open. A triad of gravimetric beams blast downward, distorting space, bending light, turning the air into a shimmering spiral. Superman slams into the beams mid-flight. The world lurches. Pressure increases 100-fold. His bones rattle. His ears ring. The beams press him downward like an artificial black hole. He grits his teeth, pushes harder. Red light ignites from his eyes. Heat vision carving a molten line through the gravity emitters. The beams destabilize, the core flickers, the ship buckles under its own weapon. Superman surges upward and grabs the hull with both hands. Metal creaks. Rivets explode. He pulls, no rips, a panel the size of a shuttle free and hurls it aside. The dropship spirals. Meanwhile, on the ground, Luke is deep in the heart of the battle. Imperial jump troopers panting. Superman exhales. Good teamwork. But the moment of reprieve ends quickly. The wrecked dropship's hangar ruptures and a new figure steps out. Tall, armored in matte black Beskar reinforced with experimental alloys. His helmet is angular, predatory, emblazoned with a crimson Imperial crest. He ignites a crackling electropike, sparks dancing along its length. "I am Commander Varos," he announces, voice deep and modulated, executor of the Imperial Restoration Initiative. He points his weapon at Superman. "And you, alien, belong to us." Luke steps forward, lightsaber ignited. "This world is under our protection. Our." Commander Varos ignores him. Troopers form a perimeter. Their rifles shift to ion mode, meant for disabling massive droids or beings with extreme durability. Varos strikes first. He charges Superman with blinding speed, his electropike slamming into Superman's crossed arms. The crackling surge of energy jolts Superman back several steps, heavy boots digging trenches in the dirt. Superman's eyes flare red. That hurt. Good. Varos growls. Let's see what else you can withstand. The two collide in a shockwave that rocks the valley. Luke leaps into the fray next, taking on the perimeter troopers with a flurry of blue. Grogu follows, using the Force to shove and redirect incoming fire. The battle escalates into absolute chaos. Superman lifts Varos and slams him into the shattered ground. Varos rolls, absorbing the blow with armor built for impacts from Mandalorian-powered exosuits. He thrusts his pike again, sending a ripple of energy through Superman's torso. The Kryptonian grunts, surprised at the weapon's force. Varos is no normal soldier. Luke senses it too. There is darkness in him, but engineered, not learned. Superman blocks another blow. You guys have some serious tech here. Varos laughs. You have no idea. He clicks a device on his wrist. A beacon. Luke's face tightens. That signal. Cruiser opens fire. Twin lances of ionized plasma slash downward. The ground explodes in blinding flashes. Stone shatters. Dust billows. Luke shields Grogu with the Force as Superman rockets upward to intercept the barrage. He collides with the plasma beam mid-air. Off course, spinning in disarray as their flight controls misfire. Superman grins. Nice. He grabs a fighter by the wing, slings it around in a wide arc, and uses it as a battering ram, smashing it into two more. The resulting explosion Grogu lifts both hands, adding his strength. A shimmering bubble forms around Superman's chest, stabilizing the destructive energy just enough for him to push back. Luke looks up, awestruck. This is the prophecy made real. Superman roars, and it's becoming a whirling red halo. I was forged to break creatures like you. He lunges. Superman meets him halfway, his fist colliding with the spinning lightsaber sphere. Sparks explode. The saber does not cut him, but the energy scorches his knuckles. He recoils, momentarily stunned. The Inquisitor lands, eyes narrowing behind the mask. Fascinating. He attacks again, faster, more precise. His saber strikes Superman's chest, shoulders, back, each blow sending ripples of heat across the Kryptonian's suit. Superman counters with a burst of speed, punching the ground to throw up a cloud of dust. The Inquisitor leaps through it with predatory grace, carving the dust apart until he reaches Superman's flank. Luke intercepts, blue blade smashing against red in a blinding arc. The two lock sabers. Luke strains. He's stronger than he looks. I have killed a dozen masters. The Inquisitor snarls. I am not those masters. Luke pivots, shoving the Inquisitor back with a force blast. The ground cracks under the impact, but overhead, the battle shifts. The Chiss cruiser deploys 2 more battalions, dropships streaking from the sky. At the same time, Imperial transports arrive from the opposite horizon. Twin columns of black smoke trail them. Luke looks up. Both factions are converging. Superman narrows his eyes. Why would they work together? They're not, Luke says. They want the same target. You. The valley becomes a war zone. Dozens of Ascendants and shock troopers land in blue armor, firing particle rounds that hiss like angry serpents. Imperial Restoration soldiers clash with them in brutal close-quarters combat. Blaster fire tunes the air into a strobe of red and blue. Explosions tear craters across the ancient grounds. Superman rises off the ground, eyes glowing crimson. Stay close to Luke, he tells Grogu. Grogu nods and stands behind Luke's cloak. Superman rockets into the sky, tearing through a formation of Chiss troop carriers like a meteor. He grabs one by the hull, spins it, and sends it crashing into an Imperial walker as it deploys. Luke moves through the battlefield like a ghost of blue fire, cutting down incoming bolts, disarming troopers, and redirecting blasts into armored vehicles. The environment trembles under the weight of force and fire. blocks him, spinning his saber like a scarlet cyclone. The three battles converge: Luke versus Inquisitor, Superman versus Varos, Grogu caught between them, and Thrawn's cruiser descending lower, preparing another shot. Varos snarls, putting his full mechanical strength behind the strike. "You're not a god, just a battery." Superman's eyes flare. Red light floods the battlefield. He unleashes is silent. Superman drifts in the center of the ruined superweapon, cape torn, armor scorched, but his eyes are steady, focused. Below him, the Mandalorian fleet stabilizes formation. The gauntlet fighters peel back. Ahsoka's T-6 swings into a protective orbit around the wounded Ghost. Luke's X-Wing holds position beside the remnants of the Sith artifact, keeping scanners locked on Kal-El. Every comm panel on every ship bursts with the same message. Energy signature rising, impossible level. Inside the eye's husk, something stirs. A pulse, a heartbeat. Not organic, cosmic. Luke closes his eyes, reaching through the Force. "It isn't the weapon," he whispers. "It's him." Superman floats upward, light pouring from every fracture in his suit. He looks overwhelmed, not by fear, but by a truth he is finally able to sense. The Force has accepted him. A new presence echoes through the battlefield. Not a voice, an impression of clarity, balance, and unyielding compassion. Ahsoka gasps. Hera grips the pilot's yoke. Even Din Djarin feels it, though he is untrained. Luke speaks first. "Reverend." "Kryptonian, Jedi." Superman doesn't hear the title yet. He is busy seeing something else. Visions unfolding around him like star clusters blooming into shape. He sees Krypton, but not exploding. Whole, luminous, rebuilt. He sees the Jedi Order, but not shattered. Renewed, standing beside a new guardian robed in blue. And beyond that, two galaxies intertwined. Kal-El asks quietly, "Is this the future?" Luke answers, "Possibility, not certainty." But the Eye of Nihilus is not finished. Its core, still burning with the stolen energy of 100 drained star systems, detonates. A wave of collapsing dark matter rushes outward, threatening to tear open a singularity that will swallow the entire Allied fleet. Hera's voice breaks in. "We need to jump, now! Hyperdrives won't spool fast enough!" An officer shouts. Luke raises his hands, but the spiraling gravitational field is too violent even for him. Ahsoka steadies herself. "Superman!" He nods. He knows. Kal-El rockets into the center of the imploding anomaly, bracing his body against the vortex. The pressure is immense, the energy like a galaxy being funneled through a single point. His bones vibrate. His skin ignites with white plasma, but he pushes harder. He becomes a living support beam between two collapsing realities. The Eye tries to devour him. The dark energy claws at him. The gravity well crushes him, but he stands his ground. Luke's voice cracks. "You can't contain that alone!" Superman turns, expression calm, despite the chaos shredding around him. "I don't have to contain it," he says. "I just have to give you enough time to get out." Din shouts through the comm. voice raw. "This isn't your galaxy. You don't owe us this." Superman actually smiled. "I don't save people because I owe them." He lifts both hands. His entire body erupts in a blinding burst. "I save them because I can." With one last surge, Superman unleashes every photon of solar energy in his cells, colliding it against the eye's implosion wave. Light and darkness crash together like dueling supernovas. The vortex shatters. The gravity well collapses harmlessly. The ships stabilize. The galaxy breathes again, but Kal-El is gone. The battlefield falls silent, not destroyed, protected, saved by a being who never asked to be here. Ahsoka whispers, "He didn't just stop a weapon. He closed a wound in the Force." Luke lowers his head. "He fulfilled the prophecy. The off-world Lightbringer." A long pause. "And now he walks beyond our sight." Din turns his ship slowly toward the void. "I hope your galaxy knows what it has." But then, a flicker, a spark, a figure floating back into view, unconscious but alive, drifting toward the Allied ships like a fallen star carried on a gentle current. Hera laughs in disbelief. "Pull him in!" Two rescue craft dart forward. Kal-El is brought aboard the Ghost, laid out on a medical platform. His pulse returns. His breathing steadies. Luke kneels beside him, sensing the Force woven around him like a soft, golden halo. Ahsoka says he isn't just connected to the Force. It has made room for him. Luke nods, and our galaxy won't be the same. Superman's eyes open, exhausted, confused. Luke's first words leave him gently. "Welcome back, Jedi Kal-El." Superman blinks. "Jedi." Ahsoka smiles. "Honorary, but earned." Kal-El sits up slowly. "Then what happens now?" Luke stands, offering a hand. "Now we rebuild. Both our orders, both our galaxies." Superman takes his hand. Two legends, one from Earth, one from the stars, standing together on the deck of the Ghost, looking out at the galaxy, no longer trembling but hopeful. A new alliance has been forged. A new myth has begun.